well. Osborne thought that through superbly. With a little bit of this and a little bit of that. It's through for a goal.
And a classic goal to Michael Osborne, set up by our guest tonight on the couch. Luke Hodge joins us. Welcome, Luke.
Thanks, Admin.
You limped in. You looked like you were about 80 years of age, and so you should. Pretty tough going.
Yeah, feel like I'm about 80, but you expect that every time you come up against Geelong. They're a hard team, and that's why you like playing against them.
It looked particularly gruelling today, though. I mean, it was an old-fashioned game of really body-on-body, big hits, hard running.
Yeah, there was a lot of big hits, and I said we always love playing Geelong, and I think that it's the same for them because you do build yourself up for them. They've been the benchmark of the competition the last 4 years, and it's just great to watch them. Great to play against them anyway.
And there's a huge amount of respect. I mean, at the end of the game, there was sort of a lot of handshakes, and you do hit each other pretty hard, but the respect for each other's the game style is immense, isn't it?
Yeah. As I said, they've been the benchmark the last 4 years, and you do when you look at their midfield, you look at their whole side. It's a great side, and you really want to compete against them.
When Hurdy started playing footy, I reckon 3.5 hours after the game, he would have been into about his fourth Crown Lager.
That's
what have you done since you finished playing, and what does tonight entail?
Had about 4 Powerades, about 5 bottles of water, and I'm about that far away from going to sleep. So we got meetings at about
short week.
Yeah, we got Bulldogs this Sunday, and then we got meetings about 9:30. So I'll be low key and go through the things we did probably not so well in the last half tomorrow, and then focus on the Bulldogs.
You're pretty impressive early. It must have just been the way you wanted the game to unfold.
Yeah, well, I think the way we attacked, the way we pressured Geelong, it's the same as sort of what we did last week. And I guess they worked us down, and I guess we were dead on our legs in the last quarter, which I guess it showed the way they finished off the game.
Can I ask you about Cameron Ling? You had him until just before half-time. We all know how difficult he is, but he went back to Sam Mitchell, who'd had 21 in half a game of football, and then nullified him. Why is he so good at his job?
I guess he's disciplined, and I guess we, as a side, Geelong were better than us in the second half, I think. So I guess that helps Ling out as well. But I guess he's disciplined, his body position, and he's strong and can run all day. So I guess it's the main things that a tagger needs, I guess.
And you guys seem to go out of your way, though, to hit him. I mean, a lot of your teammates went out of your way to hit him and try and put him off you. Was that a tactic to not let him get near the guy who was tagging?
I guess it's just more to help each other out, whether we're tagging someone or if someone from the opposition's tagging one of our players. It's just whether trying to help them out, give them a metre or two so they can try and get a bit of the ball.
What happened to Ron Hooper?
Not 100%. I think he might have done a hammy or a glute, but they'll reassess that tomorrow. But I think he was early in the first quarter. I think really he went off. So I think by that standard, it's not too good, but we'll have a look at it.
We've already shown a few of the highlights, but there's always a number of reports come out from your games. It's a pretty good rivalry. You must pencil them in and I guess mark them down as games that you're going to have to steel yourself for.
Yeah, as I said, it's always a physical, and unfortunately sometimes you do get reports with such a physical game, but I'm not sure what ones were pulled out of today if there was, but we'll suss it out during the week and see how it goes.
One of the electrifying moments at the...
Cyril?
Correct, right.
I thought that was
Thank
coming.
You, Hodgie. I mean, he just does, no matter who you're barracking for, he just does sort of... There's an electricity when he comes onto the ground. He came on at the 6-minute mark, had an immediate impact. I thought his kicking was a bit rusty, but his pace and his enthusiasm was fantastic, wasn't it? Yeah,
for a bloke who, I think he got injured 2 weeks before our first practice match. So, as his first touch down the wing, he took on a couple of Geelong boys and set up a goal for us. So, look, for a bloke who's got that much talent, and as I said, to miss 6 weeks and come in and sort of have an impact that he did was great. And the best part about it is his tackling and the stuff he does away from the ball that helps us.
Did you think Gary Ablett was the 9th best player for Geelong?
I really noticed him in the last quarter. I think when Geelong started to get on top, you could just turn, every time you turn around, he had the ball and he was setting up, running, getting it back. So Geelong had a lot of good players today.
When you go against Geelong, who do you actually focus on, or what do you focus on? Who believes that Bartel is just as influential as Ablett? So do you divide it into individuals, etc., or is it all about structure and, I guess, preordained plans?
Well, there's so many dangerous ones. There's Selwood, Ablett, Corey. So there's just so many you sort of got to focus on, and just I guess on the day who's hurting you the most, you sort of got to have to change your plans accordingly.
You've got Western Bulldogs next week, I think Collingwood the week after. How do you come up after a game like that against another quality opposition?
I guess it's just recovery. As you said, don't go and have your crannies that you would have had after your
I've
game.
been 6 by now.
And in Jared's day 12.
Yeah, I guess. Well, that's footy these days. You play off short weeks, and that happens. Yeah, most weeks you play. So you just recover. You go through the stuff that you did, good and bad during the game, and then just focus on the opposition's strengths for next week.
Luke, Jared pointed the finger at Jared Ruffhead in the Herald Sun on Saturday. You detect any increased level of intensity today with Ruffy?
I thought Ruffy was good. He hit. Yeah. He was very good on the lead today. He kicked very straight. I think you said he needed to be 70%. But I think Ruffy's a dominant player, and you showed last year before he had some injuries, and our side wasn't playing that well, which didn't probably give him as much chance as last year. But Ruffy's going to be a star. I think that if he keeps working the way he is, and he has confidence in himself, he's going to be a very good player for the next 10 years.
I guess that was the point of the article. It's just the upside with Ruffhead. I think he's enormous. I think he can be as good as Franklin. Do you?
Yeah, as I said, Frankie's a very good player, and he's going to be if he continues like that. But Ruffy's a big body. He can crash a pack. He can pack mark. He can mark on the lead. So I think there's
Do you feel as if there's still something holding him back? Do you think he's still not quite confident in his own ability?
I think there's something you wrote in the article saying that he's a very team-orientated player. If the ball's there, he'll let someone come through. Where with a body like that, if I had that size, I'd just run through and take anyone out. So once he starts doing that, and I reckon by what he showed today, I reckon he's well on that track for it.
You, Ruffy, and yourself both did a little bit of ruck work today. It's getting a problem for you, isn't it, the ruck?
I guess, well, teams do come up with problems during the year, but we're just going to have to go through with what works for us and what doesn't work for us. And it's, we'd be happy to have two ruckmen in there, but as I said, we play certain roles.
Brad Otten's certainly exposed.
I didn't give you much there, sorry.
I think you might just cop one here. I mean, right there. Was that... that's why you were limping.
No, I think it was just general soreness coming in. That was just a bit of a rolly ankle.
The Josh Gibson issue copped a lot of press over the weekend and during the week. Was that a player-driven discipline, or was it the coach? Who influences in the Hawthorn Footy Club how those discipline issues get handled?
It'll come to the leadership group, and we'll sort of throw it to the board and to the coaches to either back our option we've thrown up, or else they can come down with their own. And they thought we handled it correctly, and we sort of dished out what he deserved and went from there.
Luke, you got the prize recruit over the summer. Most of us thought in Sean Burgoyne. We still haven't seen him, and he's still X weeks away. When do you expect him to play?
Hopefully 2 to 3, maybe 4 weeks away. I guess they'll get him back fairly quickly, and then he hurt his hamstring, and he looked very good. He looked very good when he was training, but I don't think they're going to rush him in. They're going to give him time to get probably enough run into his legs before he starts playing.
Can I take you back 5 or 6 years, or whenever you were drafted? You lived in the glare of being the #1 draft choice and having problems at the time. You got any sympathy or any advice for Jack Watts?
You just got to keep playing football. Don't worry about what... I know it's very hard with so much media on the footy, but you're going to have to worry about what your team says, what your coach says, and what you can do to help your teammates, because whatever the media write about you can't do much about that.
Did it depress you at the time? You were young and everyone was talking about how good Judd and Ball were.
Juddy was pretty good.
He was. Yeah, but I mean, I just wonder how you cope with that. I mean, Watts is going through that now.
As I said, you try not to listen. You've always been a young fella. You always don't want to hear stuff said about you. But as I said, the main thing, the best part that Hawthorn did was pretty much what I just said then, was don't worry about what the outside world are saying. You just do whatever you can to help our side and go from there.
Are you a different AFL footballer because you're married and you've got a baby? To settle you down, or is that just a myth?
I guess maturity comes along as well. You train harder, you do the right things post-game, you obviously work a lot harder on the track, which always also helps as well.
I saw an incident today which led to your goal. There was a free kick against Lingy, and it didn't appear to me at the ground that he'd done anything. He didn't appear to show any dissent, and I didn't know. Did he say anything? I mean, and what do you blokes think about that rule that if you say anything that's deemed to be dissent, you get pinged 50?
If it's bad enough, I guess. You can't go across abusing umpires, where I guess early on I used to do that a bit, but I guess it's fair, right, if you say something really bad to him, but I couldn't tell you what Lingy said.
It looked on the coverage as though he gave a bit more.
Did it?
Yeah, it was pretty...
I think there was 70,000 people there, so it was a pretty loud crowd. I couldn't really hear what he said.
Fair bit after 9 o'clock. Heard he'd been to his 10th Crown Lager. Appreciate your time, and we'll shout your Powerade on the other side of the break. So thanks for coming in, and good luck for the rest of the year.
Cheers, thanks for having me.
Luke Hodge, special guest. More to come on the couch, and we're going to take a look at Jonathan Brown and his incredible kicking from outside 50 straight after this.
screwed up again and again.